Hey guys, welcome back. Do you wake up early or do you go to bed late? Or do you wake up late, go to bed early? Do you do both or neither? What's your combination, your perfect sleep schedule? It took me a while to figure out mine, and it kind of came during this whole season of COVID. But this one comes from uh, a blog post that I had written while I was waking up very early, sometimes like 4 o'clock, sometimes 5 o'clock. It really depended on what time I went to sleep. My key to my sleep schedule, I wrote a little bit. There's going to be a blog coming out relatively soon. I'm going to do another episode that I wrote about sleep and my battle with it and things like that. But long story short, for now, I think it's important to get control of your sleep. And I think the main thing that you need to do in order to get control of it is to, determine what's a good time for you. Everybody's schedule is different, especially when it comes to parenting and things like that. Um, and what I found was, it's damn near impossible to get my time at night. And I'm talking about my time, me and my wife's time, for whatever we want to do. It's damn near impossible to wake up refreshed after having a quote unquote late night. And for some time, for some nights that would be 11 o'clock. That would be maybe 10 o'clock, depending on how much work I got done or what I was doing, how active I was, etc. I have I tried to wake up mega early in the morning, as it said in the blog post, 4 or 5 o'clock, and I was loving it for a while. And then I started to notice that it just wasn't holding my, my energy throughout the day. It would until usually about 7 ish, 8 o'clock, 6. I'm sorry. It would until about 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and then I'd start feeling like the snoozy eyes, and I'd start feeling really tired and things like that. And I think what I realized was my perfect timing is between 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock in most cases, or 9:30, 5:30, something like that. Um, I established that for me, my best sleep time is about 8 hours. Sometimes, like I said, depending on how hard I've worked or how active I've been, I might need 9 hours. Sometimes randomly I'll throw myself off and I'll only need like 5 or 6 hours, but that's usually one night and then it corrects itself. Um, but I think what I used to see from my father, he used to wake up very early and he used to go out, and that used to be his time for himself. And I noticed my wife during COVID, and she seemed just so much more energized and so much more with it. And, she seemed a lot happier. And I thought that was awesome. Um, she was going out and running. She was going out, or she would get up and exercise. She'd make the kids breakfast, and then, she'd make herself something or just give herself time to study or whatever. And it really made a difference in her life. And now I should say she's always been more on the early bird side. She takes after her father like that. But she used to, stay up later and still wake up at the same time and just be exhausted. And she started respecting a lot more the time that she had to go to bed as well. I tried it, and for the most part, like, it did feel really good. It felt like I got time to get things done. From my teenage years, I'm tempted to stay up late and sleep late and whatever, but you just can't do that anymore, especially with 3 children. They have generally about the same sleep schedule, and they still won't sleep past 5:30, 6 o'clock. It doesn't matter what time they go to bed. They seem to have like an internal alarm clock of some kind. So I find myself, if I say I went to bed at 10 and I woke up at 6, I'd find myself a little bit stressed out in the morning, because I didn't have time for myself. 10 o'clock is not really that late when you think about all the things that parents want to do when they're, you know, doing whatever. You could just be reading, for goodness sake, and, you just don't have the time to do what you want to handle personally. Or, you got to also figure time for your spouse or whoever else you're living with, or whatever situation you're in. 10 o'clock isn't always the ideal time to go to sleep by. Um, so, like when I was trying it, I found that I needed to be up before 6. That was the definite. 6 a.m. was my very latest I could get up without feeling this stress factor. The earlier I got up, the more time I got to wake up, make myself coffee, read something, get some studies in, get some work done. I really had time to do something that I wanted to focus on. I even got up and I was running, and I started doing my exercises in the morning, and it felt great to have all that stuff done. But it's about what works for you, really. I would say that the earlier you get up, the better it is for you, because the world starts at a specific time. You ever notice that in your life? When I used to wake up at, let's say, 8 a.m. when my oldest son used to wake up when he was younger. Everything else was going and everything else was moving and running, and I had little time to get ready for work, and I had, everything going on to get him ready. Even when they're waking up at 6 o'clock, or even when they're waking up at 7 o'clock, if it's that late, it's just not a lot of time to get yourself together and do what you need to do. In most cases, we don't give ourselves that time in the morning. Most people don't want to wake up for some reason. And I get that. I used to be that way. But when you think about it, your day would be a lot more enjoyable if you did give yourself that time. Say you have to be to work at 7 and it's a half hour away or whatever. Give yourself a good hour. Give yourself a good hour and a half. Try to wake up at 5. 9 to 5 is 8 hours. It's not out of the ballpark to get some sleep. And it doesn't have to be every day. You could take one day a week and, party it up for the night. I just wouldn't recommend till 1 a.m. You got to have like a kind of steady schedule with that. But, it helps you become more mentally prepared for the day. It helps you really get things going, get your body going. You get time. You're not rushed in the morning. You don't have to just jump right into life and do what you need to do and run around crazy and whatever. Get the kids off to the bus, leave for work or whatever else you have to do. So, take this time and enjoy it. It's time for you. It's not about just waking up early. It's about finding time for yourself. And sometimes at the end of the day, you're stressed, you're tired, you're exhausted. Is that really time for you when you're feeling that way and you're just like kind of forcing yourself to stay awake sometimes? Sometimes it's just better to go to sleep, wake up early, get refreshed, get ready, and rock that day. If you want to read more about this, I have way more information in the blog post, way more specific stuff that I've come up with and experienced. If you feel like you have issues with this at all, get in touch with me. The link will be in my show notes. Just come and talk to me. We'll do a free consultation. Even nutrition affects how you sleep and the quality of sleep. So, let's get to talking, guys. Have a good one.